this week's edition of the Guide Roundtable. I'm your host, Ryan Anderson. I'm here with Pro Staff Guides Keith Smith, Josh Groovy, Cray Lutz, and Slade Fedor. And the water came up. The fishing is going to be awesome. And we're pretty excited about the water. Keith, you've been out quite a bit.
A little bit, yeah. And like you said, the water's coming up. Tonight is the last night that I believe that they're raising the flows. So from here on out, we got steady flows, and really looking forward to those steady flows. It's going to let the fish settle and get into their groove and become a little bit more comfortable about eating. And so, produce a lot more fish. When the fish settle, they're going to be right in their holes and pretty vulnerable. Looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's nice that, we got, 60 miles of clear water to fish now, too?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the playground's a lot bigger.
Yeah, playground's a lot bigger, and I'm trying to stay away from that upper section and coming a little bit lower, fishing more Government Bridge down towards Seacrest into town, and producing a lot of good fish.
You've been fishing a lot of bugs, haven't you, Keith?
Quite a bit. Still fishing a lot of the rockworms and leeches. And starting to come a little bit more on the betas, too. The beta hatches with this cloud cover and the snow and weather. We've got a week of snowy conditions and cloud cover. Kind of, makes that beta hatch kind of pop a little bit. They don't like those sunny days. The best beta hatch I've ever been is in a huge snowstorm and blanket-covered beta hatch and in that black, dark. Everybody's bailing because it's cold, it's snowy, and all of a sudden the betas just come out and the fish just go nuts. And so I'm looking forward to that.
And you're talking about all those huge midge hatches.
Well, you got a little bit in the midges. You got it in the midges today, right, on the after bay?
Yeah, that nice spring winter snowstorm we're getting right now, those midges have been insane. Yeah. I mean, lots of them.
Yeah, so you'll see the occasional fish rise on that midge or betas, and if you take your time and set up for that midge and betas hatch, sure, you can pick off that nice fish. These technical casts, you definitely got to be technical because they're in that shallow water. You'll see that little slurp, and you got to have that technical cast, and you can definitely pick off a good fish on a betas or a midge pattern.
Josh, what have you been up to?
Trying to golf. Weather's getting nicer.
Golf's good. We're all golfers too.
How are the greens looking, Josh?
When I'm forced to fish, this is exciting for me when the water comes up because it's. I'm really into streamer fishing, as you guys all know. I love when the fish get into the shallows and start feeding a little more opportunistically. I think we all get a little bored of low water with all the fish in the middle of the river, and as productive as it is, it still can get a little monotonous. But now's the time. Those browns are thinking it's warming up, and and a lot of those big rainbows are pushing out of the runs too, kind of getting into their sneaky little lies for the summer.
Yeah.
Now's the kind of time to do a little nymphing and then maybe a little streamer fish in the afternoon, especially with this nasty weather. I mean, this is big fish weather to me. So, if I got the clients who like to cast, this is the time of year. Then I'm gonna try to pad my numbers in the morning, do a little bit of nymphing, and then just strip the streamers the rest of the day and try to find that one big fish. Yeah. We've been doing a lot of fishing on our own in the evenings because I think we all feel like that water is just at that perfect level where something big's going to happen, and get out there and throw that 4-inch fly and try to find him, the big one. So.
Yeah, it's nice to guide a bit, huh?
It is. It's nice to mix it up a little bit. Yeah. So that's what's exciting for me this time of year.
Nice. Slade?
Yeah. I'm kind of on the same program as Josh and Keith. Been staying on this lower river quite a bit. I've had a couple of just strictly streamer days. When the sun's out, it's hit or miss. But we were down today. Did pretty well. I think we boated quite a few fish. All rainbows. Didn't see the browns today, but pretty good streamer day. We had cloud cover all day. Snow was flying, and it's been good. And then Cray and I had a trip up top that. Just nymphed up a ridiculous amount of fish. Caught 2 really big fish on that trip, which was kind of fun to see. But
at the reef?
Up at the reef, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
back to back.
back to back, 2 drifts in a row, 22 and 23 inch rainbow.
Wow.
Yeah,
Nice.
mine was 23.
You get that extra inch.
No, there's some big fish feeding right now, so good time to go fishing.
Yeah, this weekend the weather should be great. You know, I mean, they changed it a bit. It's supposed to be a bit warmer. I was out. Was that Wednesday in the snowstorm? Yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday. Pretty bad storm.
You guys all watched it from the fire, right?
No, I didn't.
I was sick.
Cray and I.
Yeah.
Cray was out there.
I was telling Flads that
But
day.
I came around one corner and it was blowing snow so hard, and I couldn't believe that Cray was back rowing this hole. I mean, I came around the corner and I couldn't see, and I'm like, "Is that Cray?" You know, and he was back rowing this hole, and I was pretty impressed that you.
I would drop my anchor like facing downriver, and every time we hooked a fish, 'cause it was an easy back row, it was a free ride upriver. I'd drop my anchor, net a fish, and I'd be pointing straight back upriver, and I just lift my anchor up and
Yeah. But no, this weekend's supposed to be in the 50s, but we're supposed to have that overcast stuff, and you know, with this water bump, like Keith said, you know, hopefully those fish will get into their new high water lies.
Right.
You know, I think we were chatting last week a little bit about inside corners. You know, I know that when they bump the water on the North Platte, those fish really like to suck on those inside corners. So
Definitely.
And banks now too. I mean, even mini rigging some of those faster banks with some,
Right.
bigger bugs.
yeah,
That can
So
work
it's-
really well right now.
It's kind of neat. We are definitely in a transition period right now on the rivers, and you know, kind of getting a little tougher with the wade fishing coming in because of higher flows, and so best possibility is that a boat gives you the best possibility and the most fish. And if you don't, you know, you got to be sneaky and try and get in there. If you're wade fishing, you know, don't get in the water. Look at that slow inside, slowly approach, see if that fish is sipping that midge or blooming olive, and go for that. Be patient. Go for that dry fly activity because it's
So Keith, you've got the kind of the setup pretty dialed in as far as covering all those water columns and kind of what's going on down there, and I'm sure everyone would love to hear about what you're you're fishing, man.
Mostly I've been fishing and guiding. This is my little setup. I got a leech on the bottom, and then a rock worm. The rock worm is a little annelid, and there's a little moss on there because this has already been used and caught fish. So this is and then another rock worm, and then just above that I have my split shot. So it's a 3 fly rig with the leech, 2 rock worms, and a rock worm, and then my split shot. My other rig is a Baetis nymph, the Rainbow Warrior, which is a mayfly, emerging, Baetis, and then
It's kind of
another
an
little,
all-around
just kind of an all around kind of deal. This I definitely love to dead drift with the Baetis nymphs through the holes. Not a whole lot of weight. I try not to fish weight on this and trying to fish just off the subsurface, trying to get an emerging pattern. With the leech and rock worms, produces a ton of fish. I dead drift it through the holes, and then I let it swing, and I try and get that leech to swing through that water column. I pick up, a lot of my clients pick up that fish right when the tension starts to hit, right when that drag starts to pick up and that leech comes off that bottom.
pops up.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you got to see the same thing. That leech starts to rise just a little bit and gets just a little bit of motion.
Yeah,
Usually that larger fish
yeah.
smacks that leach, and
That's why you don't. That's why you don't. That's why you don't correct your bad menders when they're fishing a leech.
exactly. It's,
No, you're mending too much.
Yeah, you're mending too much. Yeah, get your first mend in. Get a nice drip through that hole, and then raise that rod just a little bit, and let that drag happen just a little bit. That brings that Baetis nymph off the bottom, which Baetis nymphs actually swim through the water column. They're not the Baetis actually swims through the water. And so when you get that Baetis swimming through that water and that leech coming up off that water, it triggers the strike.
Yeah,
So-
you get those clients, I feel like, you're catching so many fish out there. And you get those clients they think they're being silly, and they're like, oh, I'm gonna twitch it, and they start doing that stupid little twitch just to have fun.
And it surprises them.
That's a great technique.
Oh,
It's
what
like,
you say?
yeah, that little nip, just that little wobble. A dead drift is good.
Oh, dead drifts are great.
They're great,
Love them.
but you put a little bit of action
Yeah.
on that nymph just every once in a while.
Right.
And that a lot of times.
Right. Just make sure that you, exactly, get that at the end of your drift, raise your rod, raise that drift, draw it in, and wait for that hit.
Well, hey, all my clients watching this, I'm gonna need a dead drift.
I was thinking the same.
When you
Yeah.
you go out with Keith and play with that, but I'm gonna go ahead and need a dead drift.
Yeah. Go ahead and mend that.
That's based off of his fly selection, and you'll understand that when you come.
Awesome. Well, I hope you guys all have a great evening and fun fishing with y'all.
No,
Thanks.
these are all to you guys. Thanks for all the support this year. We look forward to the rest of the year. It's filling up fast, and it's going to be a great year. Lots of water. We're all excited for this summer. We're looking forward to seeing those hoppers come out. We were all talking about that the other day with this high water. It's going to happen. It's going to be a streamer and a hopper dropper summer.
Phenomenal hopper day.
So
Yeah.
we're pretty stoked, man.
Yeah. All right, guys. We'll see you next week. Thanks for tuning in.